Okay. Hello. Can we be heard? Testing it out right now. Let's see. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. I think we can be heard, which is a good sign. But to do that, we are going to do this. Do this. Do that. Do this. Okay, and then we're going to take this thing right here, copy it, put it, no, I won't do that. We'll put it here, here, here. Join in. Here. Okay, so we streaming. I can be heard, kind of. This is what we're gonna do, right? This is the lore. This is I can be heard. This is what we're gonna be doing. We are going to be ranking the top 100 games that I've ever beaten in my whole life. I haven't beaten a whole lot of games in my whole life. I've beaten approximately 140, like 143, right? Give or take maybe one or two that I've missed. So that's what's up. That's what's happening. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I can raise this. I think that's about as high as it goes. Because I feel like not super loud. Unless I am, then let me know. Actually, you know what? I might switch to a different mic. Hold on. Okay. How about this? Let's try that. What does this one sound like? What does this mic sound like? That one sounds a little bit better, I think, right? I think so. So if that's, I'll turn it up. I'll turn it up a little bit because then maybe that'll sound a little bit better. So if that's, I'll turn it up. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. So yeah. Yo. Alright. We're ranking the top games that I've ever beaten. That's what we're doing. We're doing that today. Trying to see where else I can send this. I think that's about it, actually. So the problem here that we have going on is that we got to rank the top 100 games. I do not have Foam. Foam is not on this list. You know what? Here we go. I'm going to show you the zones that we have right now. Speaking of Foam. This is what we got going on for Foam. So right here, I'll start from the bottom and then I'll go to the top. We got the Gates of Acceptance. This is all from Super Eye Patch Wolf. He figured all this out. I'm kind of just copying him, but with my own games. So we got the Gates of Acceptance. We got the Mountains of Quality. The Bridge of Killers, right? The Path of the Elite. Doorway to the Best. The Threshold of Brilliance. Stairway of Greatness. Ascension of the Super Beasts. Battle on Heavenly Ground. The Domain of God. And the Throne of the Undisputed. Down here, we got honorable mentions. So games that, I've beaten, but I don't know if they make the top 100. I just don't know. Probably not, right? But they're cool, but not like top 100. Cool. And then there's the Void. Games that I do not like. Games that belong in the Void. And you know what I think belongs in the Void? Got you right now. Number 1. Right here. Foam. That's where Foam goes. Right there. So now the problem, aside from Foam, is that I have beaten more than 100 games. Meaning that we have to cull this list. And we have to narrow this list down to 100. And then go to this list and make that list. It's going to be a pretty insane task, I think. Right? So obviously, I think we should cull this list. A lot of these games I've beaten, but they're kind of the same game. And sometimes they get put on here twice. So like for Bulletstorm, I beat it on a platform, and then I also own it for another platform. So like on the list that I made, it's on there twice because in a weird way, I like beat it on 2 things. You know what I mean? I know that's stupid. But this is what we're going to do. So Bulletstorm, don't need 2 of those. Call of Duty COD 4 Modern Warfare. I played the original and I played the remastered. It's the same game. Boom, gone. Let's see. Destiny. Own it on 2 platforms. Don't need it twice. Skyrim. Same thing. Fallout New Vegas. Same thing. I feel like there's another one that I have on here that's like that. But I don't know. Alright, so we'll rearrange this. All right, so now we're at one. Damn. All right, we still got 41 games to cull. 41 games to cull. It's a lot of games. It's a lot of games. Where do we begin on that, though? That's the thing. There's going to be 3 exceptions to this. So these are all games that I have beaten, I have completed, I have gotten to the end credits. I started and I got to the end credits. I beat them. Boom. However, there are 3 games on here. Well, okay, there's 2 games on here that you can't really beat per se. They don't really have credits, but I still love them and they mean a lot to me. So they're on here. And there's one game that I have not beat, and I don't know if I ever will beat, but I'm still putting it on here. That's like the one major exception. Now, to get rid of... And now this is where we get into a weird thing of what is a game, right? Is it... is it like something that you... Like our visual novels games? I think so. But then... Our short visual novels games? I don't know. I don't know if they're games. You know what I mean? I don't know if they're games. So, for example... Where's that one? Kids. Is that really a game? I don't know. I don't know if I consider that one a game. Or what's the other one? Plug and Play. Is Plug and Play a game? I don't know. And I'm thinking probably not. Right, so I'm going to take out Plug and Play. I'm going to take out Kids. And then Milk Inside a Bag of Milk. I like that. I really do. But it's legit like 20 minutes long. It's not really like a game. Right, even though I do like it. Not putting it on there. I'm taking that one off. But then we get into that weird gray line of that with Florence. Because I liked Florence a lot. But it was also like half an hour, maybe. Right? And, yeah, sure, you kind of move things around and stuff and you had to interact with it. But is it a game? I don't... Because the thing about Plug and Play and Kids is, yeah, sure, maybe it had some kind of message. Maybe it had a tone that it wanted to convey. Probably lost on me. I just thought they were kind of funny. But Florence is telling a story. And you're going through that story. And you're experiencing that story, even as short as it is. Right? So for that reason... I'm keeping Florence. I will keep Florence. Flower's a game, for sure. I love Flower. Bee Simulator is a game. Don't let anybody tell you different. Lifeless Planet is something, but then there's Laser Life. Laser Life is weird. I still consider it a game, though. Oh, Scorn. That was the other one. Yeah, Scorn I own 2 copies of, technically. So. Alright, we still have 37 games. So now at this point, I think we're going to start putting games in the honorable mentions. Games that just didn't cut it. for whatever reason. You know, I'm not saying that these games are bad. They're just not like top 100. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to move this to the side. And then move this a little bit over. Okay. What games are we going to put in honorable mentions? Well, first off, I got to add another one to the void. Gonna add another one to the void right here. Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Fuck that game. I do not like that game. I said it. Fuck that game. So with that being said, that's in the void. Games that did not cut it. I'm gonna put, for the games that don't cut it. Oh, I gotta change the title of this. Yeah, okay. Games that didn't cut it. First on there, I'm gonna put Gibbon Beyond the Trees. Gibbon Beyond the Trees. It was cool. It was about an hour or two long. Cool experience, you know, driving home the effects of deforestation and stuff like that. I get it. The message was definitely not lost on me. And I love Gibbons. I don't know if it makes my top 100. And now, you know, this is when we get into games. Like, all these games on this list I've beaten, but the reason why I'm even making it is because they actually, like, mean something to me. Good or bad. As in the case of Black Ops 2, I hate it. I hate Black Ops 2. But I like Gibbon Beyond the Trees, and I like, you know, a couple of these other games that are going to be on here because they mean something to me. They hold good memories. A lot of them really good memories. And it's just how I genuinely feel about them. With that being said, I had a lot of fun and I had a lot of good times and memories with D1, Destiny 1. But don't know if that goes in my top 100. Don't know about that. I Am Bread was an interesting time. Not my top 100 interesting times. Ice Age Scrat's Nutty Adventure. That game sucks. that game sucks. I might even put it into the void. I might. Yeah, I'm gonna put that into the void. That game sucks. I can't really believe that I spent money on that game, but I did, and it was not. It wasn't good. I'm gonna put both Lego Star Wars 1 and 2 on here because Complete Saga is essentially both of them. I do love both of those games individually, or all three of them rather. But, you know, to make room. Because they are, all three of them are kind of the... Well, as far as Complete Saga goes, it's both games anyway. This is where it gets weird too, because Pokemon Diamond means a lot to me. But Platinum is the better version of it. So I think I'll put Pokemon Diamond here too. Pokemon Diamond. Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. I'm going to sit on that one. I'm not saying I love that game. I thought most of it was funny and kind of infuriating. Is it top 100 though? I don't know. I don't know about that one. Star Trek 2009. That's the 2009 tie-in game, so it's the Chris Pine Captain Kirk. And they did something kind of cool where they showed that universe's version of the Gorn, which they kind of portrayed in a weird way. I thought it was cool. You know, as far as Star Trek goes, when it comes to the J.J. Abrams ones, I give all of that a free pass, like it or not, just because it's an alternate timeline, it's an alternate universe. At that point, they've kind of written themselves a get-out-of-jail-free card. They can do whatever they want. So, you know, even if it sucks, at least they're not ruining everything else. So that one's going into honorable mention. Because it was cool, but it was also one of those early-ish 360 third-person cover shooter clones that they had a million of, and it didn't really do anything crazy special. It was like a bootleg Mass Effect 2. It's kind of funny, but yeah, these are all good. These are all good down here. Gonna keep Rime. I like Rime. Limbo. Lifeless Planet. Yeah, I'm gonna put on here. Do I put it on here or do I put it in the void? That seems too harsh. Putting Lifeless Planet in the void seems too harsh. I don't know about that. That game is pretty whack, though. That game is pretty whack. I might have to go in the void. Sorry, Lifeless Planet. You're going in the void. Let me make sure you guys can still hear me. Let me make sure you guys can still. Okay. Yeah, I can still be heard. Limbo. I'm gonna put Limbo on honorable mentions. I like Limbo, but not like that. You know what I mean? Alright, so what do we got now? Damn, we still got 26 games that we gotta call on here. 26 games. Damn. Looking at the Guitar Heroes right now. Honestly, I'm gonna put, I'll put most of the Guitar Heroes on here. With Aerosmith and Smash Hits. And honestly though, Guitar Hero 2. Because with Smash Hits, it is what it is. With Aerosmith, cool. But with 2, 2 was special because it had that Death Clock song and the Homestar Runner song from Strong Bad. That was dope. But Guitar Hero 3. Guitar Hero 3. It's a whole nother thing. Guitar Hero 3 is a whole nother thing. That's staying, for sure. That is absolutely staying. Grown Home was cool. honorable mention. Probably going to put the DJ Hero ones here too. Because what a wild time that was when I got into DJ Hero for a little while. I bought the... What was it? I bought DJ Hero 2, like the actual like big edition of it from a friend that came in the box with the actual turntable. That was pretty cool. Call of Duty World War II. Probably one of the most forgettable ones. I barely even remember the campaign for that one. You know what? I'm putting that in the void, to be honest with you. Because that one was just something else. Vanguard. Yeah, Vanguard had its moments. Vanguard's had its moments of being kind of cool, I guess. Call of Duty Ghosts. I'm keeping Ghosts on there because it was, to this day, the only Call of Duty that I was ever... Well, the top Call of Duty that I was ever actually good at. I'm not trying to say that I'm good at Call of Duty. I'm not. But for some reason, I don't know what clicked in my mind and with the controller, I guess. I just was kind of a god at Call of Duty Ghosts. It was stupid how good I was at that game. I never understood why. I never figured it out. I loved the multiplayer for that game. I thought it was great. The multiplayer, at least. Everything about it. I know that's like probably people's most hated Call of Duty, I would say. I loved it. I thought it was great. The campaign, if you ask me what even happened in the campaign, I barely remember. I remember the end with like the satellite shit. That's it. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the 2023 one. Yeah, that's going in honorable mentions. That one's going in honorable mentions. That one was weird. Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified. Honestly, I don't even know where to put that one. I didn't hate it. I don't want to put it in honorable mentions. I barely even remember playing that one. I think I beat it in like an hour. So I'm gonna put that one. That's just in like purgatory right here. I don't even know. That's just straight purgatory right there. Alright, what do we got here? What are we looking at? 17 more games to go. I think we could still call it. I mean, there's definitely still games in here that aren't the best. That I don't think make my top 100. Where'd it go? Star Wars Battlefront 2. Pretty, it was whatever. Campaign was kind of interesting. Nothing crazy. Nothing to freak out over. Sackboy Big Adventure. Oh, man. I really wanted to like that game more. I don't hate it. I don't think it deserves Void. But I don't know if it deserves top 100. Sackboy's Big Adventure. It was interesting. It had its moments. I thought the music was kind of cool. They played like every Bruno Mars song in that game. I don't know what he did to get in that game, but like every fucking Bruno Mars song was in that game. Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. I guess we're coming back to that. that's probably one of my most recently beaten games. It's still fresh in my mind. I didn't hate it. But I didn't like it. I thought the story was... I mean, honestly, when it comes to the story of Mortal Kombat, I'm pretty new to it, I guess. I've really only followed the story from Mortal Kombat 9, which most people don't even refer to as 9. So that's about my knowledge on it. So, you know what? I'll put it here. Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe. Monument Valley 1 and 2. I love those games. I do. Laser Life? Oh, we'll save Laser Life. We'll definitely save Laser Life. I'm really tempted to put Halo 5 on here. On the honorable mentions. Because I don't like Halo 5. I don't love it. I don't think it's even in the top 3 best Halo games. There's only like 6 Halo games. I mean, if you want to count Wars and stuff, I don't even think it's in the top. I think it's probably the weakest one out of all of them. But I didn't outright hate it. I just thought it was weird. I thought it was dumb. And, it was one of those... There was like one really cool part, and then like maybe a handful of like, oh, okay, whatever. So, I guess I'll put it here. Halo 4. I like Halo 4 more than 5. To keep it a buck with you. I do. Gears of War Judgment, though. Gears of War Judgment and Gears of War 4. Man, I do not know about that. I don't know about that one, man. Think... If I had to pick which one I like better, because looking back on it now, I really did not like 4, but I also don't like Judgment. For different reasons. I don't like Judgment because it's... what was cool about Gears of War is all the acts just flow right into each other. There's very little... other than cutscenes and, the startup of some missions where you're kind of just going to where you have to go, or not even cutscenes, but like cinematic type pieces. That's what kind of slows the momentum of the game, but it doesn't stop it. It doesn't outright stop the momentum, because even with cutscenes, you're still like you're like, oh shit, yeah, this is going, let's go. When's the next thing happening? But with Gears of War Judgment, it was like you're playing an arcade game. After every single mission, cutscene or not, it just stops and gives you a score. Why the fuck do I need a score? It's Gears of War. I don't care about what my score is. And they incentivize more on finding find the 3 symbols in each level. I don't care. I want to play the game. But I will give it points for at least kind of showing a new perspective on the story that you may not have known, of characters that you like. With Baird and with Cole and that girl whose name I can never remember, and the other guy. So, at least it had that. So for that reason, I'll put Judgment in... Oops. I'm going to put Judgment right there in honorable mentions, because I didn't outright hate it. What I do not like at all, borderline at all, is Gears of War 4. I had fun playing Gears of War. I have videos on it because of how kind of funny it was in certain parts involving the Brumach. Spoiler alert. But other than that, other than the Brumach stuff and the giant mech thing at the end, I couldn't really care less about Gears of War 4. The only other good thing besides that is that it kind of led into 5, which I didn't hate either. So I'm gonna put Gears of War 4 in the void, to be honest. Gears of War 4 is going in that void. Yeah, we're saving Laser Life because that was an experience. Sayonara Wild Hearts. Man. Currently the only game known to be narrated by Queen Latifah. It was a cool game. It was like a rhythmy game. I liked it. But don't know if it makes the top 100. But it definitely makes it honorable mention. Because that game, I liked it. I liked it a lot. Yeah, Sayonara Wild Hearts was alright. Alright, so what are we looking at now here? 10 more. We got 10 more games to get rid of in this list. We can do it. It's going to be tough, but we can do it. Mini Ninjas. Man. I unabashedly love that game. That game is so... It's good. It's like... It's a kid game. I get it. But I really, really like it. I don't know what it is. It was just... I thought the art style was really charming. I thought all the enemies were, coolly... uniquely designed. I just thought the gameplay was neat. I thought the whole concept of it was cool. I think it will stay in my top 100. I think it will. Because I do have a very soft spot in my heart for that game. Donut County. Donut County was a fun time. I don't hate Donut County at all. I don't. But what I wish it had was more free range, I guess, because you can't... I don't want to spoil it, but like you can't do the main thing that game lets you do anytime, anywhere. You can't. It's like zoned in, and there's some things that you can't even use the thing on. I thought that was, limiting, and you play the level and you really just want to go crazy, and you can't because the game just straight up doesn't let you. Which, kind of a bummer. But, fun game. I like the art style. I like the story. It was funny. Call of Duty 2. Call of Duty 2. I'm going to put that on here because honestly, I played it, but not really memorable. Nothing really crazy happened in that one. Bee Simulator. Oh, man. I like Bee Simulator. I do. I do like that game. I really do. It's so weird and kind of stupid, but I like it. But I don't know if it fits the top 100. I don't know. That game has combat. Anytime I talk about Bee Simulator, I tell everybody that. Because that game has combat. It's about bees and has combat. British bees. That game's nuts. That game is nuts. Man, now it's getting tough. Now it is getting tough. Ratchet and Clank for PS4. I don't know if it cuts it. I don't know if this cuts the top 100. I don't know. I'm thinking probably not. It was a time. Ratchet and Clank for PS4 was a time. For sure. Damn. I think we're cutting it pretty close. Okay, we got 6 more. You know, I'm putting new Super Mario Brothers 2 up here. The one on the 3DS. And again, you know, it's one of those things. The game doesn't suck. It's just I don't even remember anything about it. The only thing I remember was being stuck on one of the Bowser levels, not being able to figure out how to cheese it, and I just couldn't do it. I eventually figured it out because they give you the ultimate suit, the cat suit. I just went right over him, but I just couldn't do it. That's on me, though. I'm not saying that it's the game's fault. That's on me. But with that being the only thing I remembered of it, you know, honorable mention. I beat it at work. You know, I wasn't even really 100% focused on it. I think we got 5 more. Damn. I think we could probably put... I think I'm going to put both Injustice games. Both Gods Among Us and Injustice 2. Games are cool. I like the story. But, you know, evil Superman is only... You can only take so much of that. Can only take so much. Alright, we got 3 more. We got 3 more games. Man, what do we take out? Danny Phantom Urban Jungle. I played that on the DS all the time. I remember going to my cousin's graduation and I was still playing that game. From the car ride there to the car ride home, I was just going nuts. My DS died on the way. That's how much I was playing it. Because that game is the shit. But it's not top 100 the shit. As much as I love it, it holds a very special place in my heart. Little Nightmares, I do like Little Nightmares. I do. We'll find a place for Little Nightmares. We will find a place. Prototype 2. Prototype 2 was awesome. This is getting really tough, man. This is getting really tough. Might have to be Super Mario 3D Land. That's the one that I was talking about with Bowser, not the other one. This is the one. But yeah, Super Mario 3D Land, totally fine. Just again, I beat it at work. I was barely paying attention to it. Nothing crazy. To me, nothing crazy. Super Mario 3D Land going in honorable mentions. Those Who Remain. Man. Those Who Remain. Played that on stream on this channel. Played the whole game. Might have to go on here, though. Might have to go on here. And with that, though, I think that's it. I think now we can... Yeah. We can start this list. We can straight up start this list. I feel like there's way too much Call of Duty on here. There's way too much Call of Duty on here. You know what? 'Cause I'm looking at... We might have to change some things around. I might be taking... I might be moving some stuff around here. Because you know what? I don't want to put anything better than Black Ops 3. I thought Black Ops 3 was stupid. I don't hate it. I think it was one of the weakest ones. In Advanced Warfare, I like the story. Nah, you know, we're going to stick with this list. We'll figure it out. But now we got to pick Game 100. The Gates of Acceptance. The Gates of Acceptance. What are we going to do for that? You know what? We'll do Black Ops 3 for that. Because again, I don't hate that game. The story was weird and it was long. It was a long game. Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Because 2 sucks. The Gates of Acceptance. From here, I mean, you know, at the bottom, it's pretty much just games that I like enough to come out of honorable mentions. That's pretty much it. You know, so we got games like Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I would say I'll put Advanced Warfare there as well. I'm gonna put Advanced Warfare. Because I didn't really hate the story for that either. I thought the story for that at least kind of had like a point. You know what I mean? At least it had some kind of message. Yo, who's that? I don't know. Sorry, I'm responding to a text. Oops. Let's see. All right, we're back. Honestly, I feel like most of the Call of Duties are going down here. I feel like most of them are. We're going to put... I'm really tempted to put COD 4 here because, you know, I understand and I respect that it was the one that kind of kicked off the multiplayer, really, even though World at War came first. No, World at War came after. Yeah, World at War came after. Yeah. So, yeah, it was the one that, kind of kicked off the multiplayer. Of course, there was Call of Duty 3 that had the multiplayer, but that's the one that was the origin of what COD is today. I'm not trying to say, like, I fucking love Call of Duty, because, here and there, whatever. But, you gotta respect that COD 4 was that game. COD 4 was really that game. So for that, COD 4, that's going number 98. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Call of Duty 4. Call of Duty 3, I have a very special connection with Call of Duty 3. I don't know what it was about that game. I used to rent it from Hollywood Video, and then I eventually bought a copy of it. Game was dope. I love that game. I don't know why I love that game. Played it on the Wii first, then eventually I got it for 360. Infinite Warfare, I thought was really cool. I thought Infinite Warfare was really cool. Cold War, though. Black Ops Cold War, I really like the zombies in that one, even though I only played on that one, like the base map that you get. I loved playing on that. And I thought, what I really like about Cold War is it's the actual, now, like, true sequel to Black Ops 1, which is one of my favorite Call of Duties. If not, it is my favorite Call of Duty. Yeah, so it's the actual sequel to Black Ops 1. And I fucking hate Black Ops 2. So that's what makes me like Cold War even more, even if I don't think it's like the best thing in the world, because I don't, but Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, right there. Boom. Number 97. Alright. Getting somewhere. Getting somewhere here. What do we got here now? It's tough, man. It's tough because you got to take into account, these games that, like, do I really want that one? Do I really consider that one to be better than this one? It's tough. It's really tough. But you know what I think deserves 96? I think Uncharted does. Uncharted 1. I get it. I get Uncharted 1. It's definitely a game. For sure. One that I enjoyed for what it was, but that ending was beyond infuriating. I fucking hated that ending. I hated playing it. And I thought that the opening cutscene to Uncharted 2 was better than the entirety of Uncharted 1. But, yeah. That's where that's going. Uncharted 1, 96. I'm thinking maybe for number 95. Man, what to do for 95? '95 is going to go to Laser Life. Let's talk about Laser Life. Laser Life is one of, if not the weirdest game so far that I have ever played. I can't even describe what the gameplay is like. I'll try it. It's a twin stick borderline psychedelic journey to accepting death. It's the weird. I know that sounds insane, but that's exactly what it is. You're an astronaut that is dead, drifting through space, and you're basically accepting the fact that you are dead, and you're drifting through space, and you control these two light beams individually with both sticks of the PlayStation controller, and you're going through these little obstacles that are different on both sides, so you have to control them differently to reach the conclusion of a memory that'll help you move on from that, like, level of like the 7 levels of acceptance kind of thing, or grief, or something like that. And it was weird, but it was one of those games that I couldn't stop. I just wanted to keep going because I wanted to see, one, how weird it got, and two, where it was going to go. Really, really interesting game. It's probably still available digitally on PlayStation, so if anybody wants to check that out, I do recommend it, because it's just weird enough to be worth your time, I think. I think we'll put Call of Duty Ghosts. Call of Duty Ghosts. Call of Duty Ghosts. We already talked about that one. Talked about Call of Duty Ghosts on there. For 94, 93. 93. 93, I think we'll put Knack. I like Knack. I think Knack's funny. I do think it kind of overstays its welcome, though. That game is really long for no reason. And by the time you're at the halfway point, I was ready for it to be over. I was pretty knacked out. Knack 2, I think, is longer. I think it's like an hour or two longer, which blows my mind. One day I'll get to Knack 2, but not right now. I need a couple more years. I beat Knack, I think, maybe 3 years ago, maybe even longer. And it might be longer that I beat Knack 1, and I still think I need a few more years before I can ever even tackle Knack 2. Because it's just that weird. You know what? Rise, Son of Rome. That's going at number 92. Rise, Son of Rome is weird. It was a launch game for the Xbox One. And I don't think I've ever really played anything like it. It was a very unique experience. You're playing as a Roman centurion that's realizing that the expansion of Rome is stupid, and that the empire is going to collapse in on itself, and then you witness that happen, and you go to like medieval, like Britain, and fight those guys. And it was just it was weird, man. It was a weird game, but it was just weird enough to be cool. Excuse me. Just weird enough to be cool. So I gotta give it props for that. I had fun playing it. And then right at the edge of the gates of acceptance, right at the edge, or at the base of the mountains of quality, we got the Medium. The Medium originally was an Xbox Series X / Xbox One exclusive game that they eventually came out with on PlayStation and PC. Well, it was already on PC anyway, but then they came out with it on PlayStation. And it got a lot of hype because the music was done by the same person who did the music for Silent Hill. So a lot of people thought, oh shit, anything to do with Silent Hill, this game has something to do with it, I'm on board. And the thing about the Medium is, I think it makes a cool movie. Not the coolest game, though. It definitely makes a cool movie. I don't know about a game. It was okay. It's a beautiful looking game. The graphics in it are actually very cool, and the sound design, music aside, music is good. They played a really cool song in the trailer that I liked. But sound design itself in that game, very good. So, number 91, the Medium. Now we are at the base of the mountains of quality. And I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with We Love Katamari. We Love Katamari is the second one of the Katamari games, and we love it, you love it, I love it. I think Katamari is great. The only Katamari I don't think is great is the one for the Vita, Touch My Katamari, because the title is insane, and the King of the Cosmos looks insane in that game. Like, insane in a very scary way. It's very unsettling, and the controls are kind of weird. But the one that controls the worst, I think, is the PSP one. I've tried playing it. I'm going to keep trying because I just want to beat all of them. But, man, the controls for the PSP one really suck. Still climbing up the mountains of quality. What do we got here? It's tough. It's tough, man. I'm thinking Call of Duty Vanguard. Call of Duty Vanguard. Played it relatively recently. And Laura Bailey is in that game, and it's crazy because I didn't know that initially until you're playing it and the character she voices comes out, and I'm playing it, I'm like, wow, she sounds so familiar. I swear I've heard that voice before. And then I look it up and it's Laura Bailey, and then I really look at the character and she's, like, to my knowledge, modeled after Laura Bailey. So I've been basically looking at Laura Bailey this whole time playing the game, and I didn't even know, which I thought was really funny. Also, Meriadoc Brandybuck from Lord of the Rings is a Nazi in that game. Absolute insanity. Take that for what you will. Mountains of quality, huh? I think for number 88, I'm comfortable with putting Prototype 2. I, to this day, have not played Prototype 1. But Prototype 2, I've beat twice. One of those was in a single day, in a single sitting. Because that game is really fun. I love the tentacle bio weapon. That game's just dope. That game's really cool. I love flying around and turning people into tentacle things with my tentacles. It was a cool time. I'm gonna put Spec Ops: The Line at 87. I think it's a combination of getting kind of spoiled on it because I hadn't played it for so long and the game had been out for so long and it's on everybody's top, whatever list. I get why it is. I don't think that game is bad by any means, but I also think that it's obvious as to the message that it's trying to give. Like, yeah, no shit, that stuff is bad. And I think it's kind of forcing that when it doesn't need to. But it was still very interesting. I got to give props to it. Very interesting to go through. And it's also been delisted, so if you don't already own it, you kind of can't anymore. Spec Ops The Line 86. Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Dope game, dope characters, dope settings. And it was kind of the beginning of the end of cool Star Wars, to be honest with you. I mean, after this, we had the Clone Wars TV series, which is like 90% awesome. And Force Unleashed stuff is just, it's so weird because it's never in anything. Any of those characters are barely in anything, but when they are, it's cool because they're cool. So that's what makes the Force Unleashed so cool, in my opinion. And Starkiller, he's just a cool guy. He's a cool character. And the guy that plays him voices Darth Maul in the Clone Wars. Fun fact. I think this is where Rhyme gets off the bus right here. Number 85. Rhyme was a good time. And finding out what that game is really about took me back. I didn't really realize that's what it was. And when I did find out, I was like, wow, I get it now. Pretty cool. Mortal Kombat X, 84. I'll put XL because that's the version that I technically have. It is what it is. It is what it is. I think this might be where Mini Ninjas stops too. I think this might be it. I just don't know if I can see it going higher than that. I do love it, but that's where Mini Ninjas goes. Not bad by any means. Mini Ninjas, number 83. Number 82. Damn. Number 82. Honestly, it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough, but I think Life is Strange goes here. I played Life is Strange for the first time. I still only played the first one. I want to say about a year or two ago. And I definitely get why people really love it. I think the first one, though, is pretty... I played a little bit of the second one. And I'm sure, I'm sure it gets a little bit better. I only got maybe like an hour or two in. And I really want to try out True Colors as well. And and then go back to Before the Storm. But it's clunky, and I think if they came out with it now, it'd be a lot better than it is. And then you know what? From here, I think this one's tough. I think I might have to do it. I think I'm going to put Little Nightmares right here. You know what? No, Little Nightmares is not going there. It'll go on eventually, but I think Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 goes here. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 goes right there. And then from there, well, what's cool about Call of Duty 2019 is that is the second Call of Duty that I'm actually good at. And the only weapon that I use in that game is the crossbow. And I kind of refuse to play the multiplayer of any of the other ones because there is no crossbow. So, Activision, when you watch this live stream back, put the crossbow back. That's what I want. I will play your game if you do that. Alright, so now we're here. This is where Little Nightmares goes. That's where I think Little Nightmares goes. I want to go back and beat the DLC for it, because I have the complete edition, I believe. That game is cool. I really do like it. I'm excited to finally get to Little Nightmares 2 one day, and very curious to see what 3 is like. That's Little Nightmares. And then right above Little Nightmares, I think I'm cool with putting at number 79 Unpacking. The only game on this list, and that I know of, that features Shin Godzilla. The Blu-ray of Shin Godzilla is in that game. And I can confirm that. Very cool. Very cool that they have that. And honestly, I kind of teared up at the end of that game because you really, through the most subtle of details, you follow your character through trials and tribulations that can only really be seen through those little details. And they don't even have to actively outright tell you. You just get it. You know what I mean? You just get it. And I think that's really, really cool that they were able to convey those things just like that. And then right there, I think that's where Florence goes as well. Because in a similar way, but in a more, I don't want to say like in your face way, but in a similar, but I know it's counterintuitive, but a similar but different way, Florence does that, but in a more, I guess, relatable way. Because in Unpacking, in those emotions that it's trying to convey, you get it. You totally do. But it's the subtlety that can make you like look at it and then go, oh. But with Florence, it's like, oh God, I really get that, because I'm visualizing the actual thing that they're trying to convey rather than this subtle thing. So I think, yeah, I think that's where Florence goes. And then, of course, we got Frog Fractions. That game is insane. I reread a lot of the text in that game twice because I couldn't believe I was playing a game that actually said that. So it's interesting. That game is definitely interesting. There is a DLC for it that I have not gotten into yet, but I would like to. This is where I think we're gonna start with. I'm gonna put 76 and 75 are Monument Valley 2 and Monument Valley 1. Monument Valley is originally a mobile game. I believe the second one is originally mobile as well. And I was like obsessed with getting it on my phone in high school. But I couldn't because I didn't have any money. And I think it was like $7. Or it was something like that. And I just straight up never had any money. And I eventually did. And I convinced my math teacher to allow me to play it because it involved like geometric shapes. And it's just like a cool little puzzle story game. I just like it. I really love the way that it looks. I love the way that it's all just point and click, but it's very charming. It's very charming. The second one came out more than a couple years ago, and they're both on Steam now for extremely cheap. And I replayed through one, and it also came with like the DLC for one. I played through that, which I never got to do on the phone, and then all of 2 and its very small expansion. It's just like one extra level, I think. But that level in 2 is like one giant puzzle. Or it might have been the expansion for 1. I can't remember, but one of them, the expansions was like one super level instead of a couple little tiny ones, which I thought was pretty neat. So yeah, Monument Valley 1 and 2. But I do like 1 a little bit more. That's why 1 is at 75. And then from here, I think we could do Inside. I think that's a good place for Inside. Inside, I do like. Again, it's one of those things that it was very hard to avoid spoilers for it, and eventually I just saw the ending, and so that like kind of shocked the lead up of that, and the water enemy I had already seen. So all those things, unfortunately, were kind of the thrill of it was kind of lost on me. I do like those moments. It's just the oomph of it was lost, which it is what it is. I still liked it. I think we're cool with Flower here for 73. Flower was a beautiful experience. Again, another one of those things that kind of teeters on, is it a game? I think it is, but I would also consider it equally as an experience. Flower, it's just beautiful. The music is great. It's beautiful. Beautiful game. Here's where it gets kind of dicey. I'm kind of in between 2 games here right now. There's just so many that I think are really good. But I don't know if they're better than certain other ones. You know what I mean? I know this may sound crazy to some, but I'm putting Fallout. I got you with that one. You don't know what Fallout I'm going to pick. There's 3 of them on this list. You don't even know. But I'm going to put Fallout 4 right here. I did not hate Fallout 4. I went to the midnight release. I was so hyped for it. It was very different, obviously. And I think a lot of charm was kind of lost because of that. But I think some unique charm was gained because of it. It's definitely the black sheep of it all. Aside from maybe like Brotherhood of Steel, which I know a lot of people don't like either. But, you know, it definitely had its moments. The gunplay in that game is very good. I don't think anybody would really take that away from it. And I think the art style is interesting. I don't hate it. There are some redesigns for things that I don't really get, but some that I do think are genuinely cool, like the security sentry bots look awesome in Fallout 4. So awesome. I think the death claws look great. I think I do love Fallout 3 Yao Guai because they look like meth bears. They look like straight up. They don't even look like meth bears. They look like fucking crocodile bears. I think the ones in 4 probably more like meth bears. And they're a lot bigger. But yeah, you know, Fallout 4, it is what it is. It definitely sucks with all the base building stuff. I tried my hardest to avoid that whenever I could, or to just do the bare minimum. Yeah, that stuff was annoying. I forgot to mention it. Yeah, we're 1 away from crossing the bridge of killers. And the one to do it, I think, is probably World at War. Call of Duty World at War was that game. If you want to get hacked, you play that game. That and COD 4, but like, for real. I think it was the 3rd match of World at War I ever played when I actually owned my own copy of it. I was with my friend, and he spent the night at my house, and we were playing it all night. And like the 3rd match I got into, hack lobby, everybody's flying at 1,000,000 miles per hour. The match lasted like an hour. Every kill I got was like 4,000 XP, and you only get like 5 XP per kill in that game. So 4,000, I leveled up insane. But then whenever you died, you went down that much. So like I was constantly going up and down in level. It was stupid. That game is stupid, but at least in its then current state. Now it's probably not even playable anymore. But that was like that World War II game for me. It was that shit, man. And now we've crossed the bridge of killers and we are on the path of the elite. And to start out the path of the elite, I think we gotta go with Infamous 2. Infamous 2 is really fun. I never played the first one, and I only played a little bit of Second Son. I gotta get back on those. But I played a lot of 2. I played a lot of it at my friend's house because he maxed out both portions of the game. He even had Festival of Blood. Yeah, man, that game is just the shit. The parkour in that game is great. I think it's better than any Assassin's Creed. Um, yeah, I think the parkour in that is better than any Assassin's Creed, and it's just that shit, man. That game is just the shit. Speaking of Assassin's Creed, you know what? Infamous is going to number 69. I know what I just said about Assassin's Creed. I know what I just said. But I did have a good time with Assassin's Creed 3. I did not hate that at all. And I thought it was, very... I can't speak to how well they did it, but I think having that game be from the perspective of a more or less neutral party in terms of the Revolutionary War by having the main character be Native American was very interesting. And I thought his armor looked pretty cool. And overall, I just think it was an interesting game. It was, a very interesting time in history. And I know I've said interesting like 400 times, but, it's interesting. And I thought they did, more or less, I thought they did it well. 68. I think we got Alien vs. Predator. I remember being kind of afraid to play this game because you essentially beat it 3 times, essentially. You play as the aliens, the Predator, and the humans. And I was playing the game thinking, like, this is going to suck because eventually I'm going to play as the humans and I'm going to have to fight both aliens and the Predator at the same time. But the way that they kind of balance all 3 out was pretty cool. Because when you're playing as Predator, it's more or less stealth missions. And you're kind of picking off the humans one by one or fighting off, a bunch of aliens. When you're the alien, it's like just Zerg rush them. So that was cool. And then when you're the humans, you have the tools to fight off both. You just got to really, pay attention to what you're doing. And I think they did that pretty well. But Bulletstorm, though. Bulletstorm was a fun time. I thought the dialogue in it is probably the worst in any game. It's just extremely stupid. I'm going to condense this list here real quick. Yeah, it's extremely stupid, but, it is what it is. I love the whip thing. The leash, I think they called it. And then, after Bulletstorm, another one of those things where, like, is it a game? Is it an experience? Is it a demo? Is it a tech demo? I don't know the answer to it, but what I do know is that I had a great time with Astro's Playroom. I really did. It was just a very, very cute time. It was a cute time. For sure. $65, I think, is good to go. Where'd it go? I just had it. I think it's good to go to Firewatch. What a very... I don't want to say too much about it, because I think definitely worth a playthrough, worth your time. It's very short. I think you're looking at 6 hours max. But that game is going a way that you think it is, and then it doesn't. And it goes in a completely different way that's still cool. Like, still very... like, you want to follow that path to where it's going. Definitely worth your time. This is where it starts to get even more crazy here. very tempted. Just completely, honestly, this game is on here because of extreme nostalgia and just because I grew up playing this game way too many times. But the first Lego Indiana Jones, just the funnest of time. I mean, they took the Lego Star Wars formula and changed it enough to be extremely familiar and still be fun, but different and fun. And it's just a good time. Number 2 is very disappointing. I mean, they don't do anything. They do a bunch of new stuff in 2, but it's not good. They change everything that was fun about it, and they just change it. And two suck. I think I returned 2 like immediately. I think either I rented it or I bought it, or I might have given it away. I don't even remember, but I was like, I don't want to play this at all anymore. And now, this one's tough too. I'm thinking between Mortal Kombat 9 and Mortal Kombat 11. Because I like the story of both, but I like the goofiness of 9 more than 11. But 11 has RoboCop, and the trailer. I guess now it's been a few years. It's been more than a year. I guess I could pretty much admit it now. I used to work at GameStop for like 5 years, so a lot of the when I would be like, oh, I saw a trailer for this or that, it was because I was at work and it was playing 24/7. Just I mean, that story's for another time, but when the Aftermath DLC came out for 11, they played the trailer for it nonstop, but it was one of the good ones because it was funny when Raiden is like Shang Tsung. It's just really funny. So I really do like 11, but I like the goofiness of 9. I mean, when that scene when Kentaro walks in the arena is one of the worst looking things in like recent gaming memory. Barely even recent. But that it just sucks. That scene sucks, but it's so funny. And I love that game for that. And of course it kickstarted that kind of reboot story for the next whole bunch of games. So I think that's what we're gonna do. But before we do that, I don't see it going any higher. I'm gonna put Halo 4 right here. I went to the midnight release of Halo 4. It was the first ever midnight release I ever went to, and I downloaded the game the moment I got home, and I remember freaking out because it was 8 gigabytes, and I was like, oh my god, it's 8 gigabytes. And loaded it up, played the multiplayer, and the story, it is what it is. It's not the best. I don't even think the story needed to happen. In fact, in the first level, I'm like, why do the Covenant even care? I'm like, I don't even care. But my real major enjoyment of that game came with the multiplayer, which I know pretty much most people, I think it's fair to say, did not like that at all. They said it was too much like Call of Duty, too much like this, whatever. I liked it. I love regular Halo. You have a gun, you have a secondary, and you find the ones around the map. I love that. But I thought it was like a refreshing thing for Halo 4 to be able to make your own loadout in a way that was more advanced than Halo Reach, and in a way that was similar to Call of Duty. Am I glad they didn't do it in 5? Kind of, because I think if they stuck with that, they would have stayed with it. But to try it out once, I don't think is bad, and I had a lot of fun. I like making different theme loadout. Like I had like a Covenant loadout. I had the Forerunner loadout. You know, it was cool. I did not mind that one. And then here I think is where we put Mortal Kombat 11. Here's where we put Mortal Kombat 11, and then this is, I think, for Mortal Kombat 9. Or the complete edition. Yeah, for the reasons that we just kind of broke down there. So I'm cool with that. Doorway to the Best. We have crossed the path of the elite. We're at the doorway of the best. Number 60. Uncharted 2. Uncharted 2, like I said before, the beginning of Uncharted 2, just that opening cutscene cinematic piece, better than all of Uncharted 1. Uncharted 2 was such a breath of fresh air. I loved it. And there's like 3 different voice actors from Star Trek in that game. I love Star Trek. And it was great. Uncharted 2 is just, it's a fun time. And I think it's one of the best sequels in like game history. And I think that's definitely fair to say. I think it's one of the best, like, okay, you had an interesting idea. The second one, oh my god, that shit was great. Because that shit was great. And then right after that, for number 59, The Order 1886. What a cool game. What a fucking cool game. It to this day, I genuinely think it is one of the best looking games ever. And I know that sounds intense to say, but genuinely, that is one of the best looking games I have ever played. And that's why it's in the doorway of the best. Because that game is really cool. It's that alternate medieval world. It is badass. That game is badass. It's a shame that they probably will never do anything with the IP again, and that it was like 5 hours long. It really does suck. But maybe one day. Who knows? I doubt it, but who knows? Let's see. Call of Duty 3. Like I said before, I have a very special connection with Call of Duty 3. It's the first Call of Duty. Well, the first Call of Duty I ever owned. First one I ever played was 2 on the GameCube at a neighbor's house. But 3 I loved so much. The characters in there, I got attached to the characters because I played it so many times, and it was just, you felt the end in the trenches. Oh man, it was cool. Call of Duty 3 was cool, and I feel like, because I had it on the Wii, I beat it on the Wii, but years later when I got it on the 360 and beat it, I felt like the ending was completely different, and I'm sure it was due to whatever technical limitations. But yeah, game was nuts. Game was nuts in a good way. 57 goes to Gears of War 5. I really did not hate it. I think the Coalition wrote themselves into the worst corner ever, and they're gonna have to live with that. But as far as the game itself, I thought it was cool, more or less. And I guess the one major flaw is probably the one that everybody else has, with the sailing around on that thing, going in those open zones that don't really have a whole lot going on unless you really look. I looked, so I found all the little secret stuff, but that's just me. I get that people don't want to do that, but I thought it was a good time. Story is cheesy as ever. It's barely anything, but kind of cool nonetheless. For 56, though, what do we got for 56? Damn, we got a lot. We got a lot of games that are going to be really tough to judge. Damn. Number 56. What are we going to do, man? I'm thinking See, now this is, I mean, I for the most part, I like all these games for one reason or another, but now we're in the territory of, like, I really, really like pretty much all of these games. Damn, this is tough. But I think 56 goes to Infinite Warfare. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare is, I think to this day, the second or third now most disliked trailer. The trailer for it is the most disliked, third most disliked video on YouTube ever, still. And I can get why. I think the campaign was really cool. I think it was really cool. I thought the robot character was a cool character. I thought the mission on Mercury was interesting. I tell everybody this. I think the fact that Jon Snow's ship was called, and they're from Mars, was called the Olympus Mons, the biggest volcano in the solar system. That's badass. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. That shit's cool. And it had a cool design, too. It had a very cool design. Better than that, though, is Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. I mean, what can I even say about that game that I haven't probably already said? It's all of Lego Star Wars. Even Indiana Jones is in that game. You're playing all throughout the Star Wars that really matters, and it's a fun time. Unlocking characters, going back in free mode and playing as Yoda fighting Jabba the Hutt. It's a great time. I love that game. I spent days of my life playing that game, and I don't regret it at all. Tough, man. It's tough. This is tough. I think Hmm. I think this might be where we might have to cut ties with. Damn, man. I think this might be where we cut ties with Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, Modern Warfare 2 is one of the GOATs. Story was great. Story was great that it managed to introduce a character for maybe like 4 missions and then kill him off, and he's one of the most iconic Call of Duty characters, if not the most, to this day. And he was in originally like 4 missions. Of course I'm talking about Ghost, but like I mean, you gotta respect that. I mean, they even brought him back, for the new ones. It's kind of crazy. I know it's really high, but there's so many good games on this list that, in my opinion, no, I can't put that there. 54. Oh, sorry, 53. Given to Saints Row 3. I really do like Saints Row. I've really only played 2, 3, and unfortunately a little bit of Gat out of Hell. But Saints Row 3 was... I played the shit out of it. I played the shit out of it. I think I even bought DLC for it, if there was DLC. I remember I pre-ordered it, everything. Yeah, I love Saints Row 3. However, it was the beginning of the end for Saints Row. It just is. It sucks that it is, but it is. It's got one of the best trailers in video game history, in my opinion. But yeah, man. I mean, some of the stuff in that game, you could tell that that's where it kind of led into, and it's unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. For the good parts that there were in it, it was good. Especially the fact that Sasha Grey voiced one of those twins, which is hilarious. After Saints Row 3. After Saints Row 3, I think we're looking at... Halo Anniversary. I know it's low. I do love Halo 1, but honestly, I really only played it the one time. Pretty much every other Halo game I played multiple. I didn't play 4 multiple times. I played the multiplayer, of course. I played a little bit of multiplayer for 5 and only touched story once. And honestly, I really only touched story once for Halo 1. I do absolutely respect it, though. I do respect it. But we'll get more into Halo. We'll get more in there, trust me. And then after Halo Anniversary, I hate to put it this low, but there's just so many bangers on this list. It's Katamari Damacy reroll. What a fun time that game was. What an absolutely fun time. I think it was it might have been 2021. It was the first game that I beat. I think I beat it like January 3rd. I started off my year with that game, and it was so fun. I love that game. And now we have crossed the threshold of brilliance. The threshold of brilliance. And with that threshold of brilliance, I think we can put Portal. Portal 1 specifically. That was, I mean, what can you really say about Portal that hasn't been said? The game's awesome. It's a fun time. It's very quick, especially if you're like familiar with it. It's a classic. It's a Valve classic. Everybody loves Portal. I'm sure there's some people that don't, and it's fucking weird that they don't, but see, now this is where it gets kind of weird. Because I'm gonna put Alan Wake. I'm gonna put Alan Wake right there. I liked Alan Wake. I didn't like the ending. I thought the ending of like the last chapter was a slog, but overall, very cool game. Very, very cool game. Threshold of Brilliance. After Alan Wake, I think we could put Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. The original Modern Warfare 3, not the 2023 one. Man, dude, I've played. That's probably my most played Call. Maybe aside from Black Ops 1, that is my most played Call of Duty. I spent like my middle school days grinding that shit out. I played it more than Modern Warfare 2. I love Modern Warfare 3. I do, unabashedly. It's one of my favorites. Absolute banger of a multiplayer, I think. And then you know what? After that, I think we gotta put The Last Guardian. Growing up, my older brother would have, like Game Informer magazines, and I would remember looking through it and seeing the ads for The Last Guardian. Oh, it's finally coming out. Here's like the first images of it, and then just never seeing it again. And then the story that everybody knows, that it was in development hell. And then when it finally got released, everybody's like, "Oh shit, it's that game." And it was a beautiful game. Beautiful game. I never played Ico. Still on my list. But, we'll get to Shadow of the Colossus. But, man, The Last Guardian, what a time. What a time. Very frustrating at some parts with the AI. Beautiful, though. Absolutely beautiful. And that ending. Wow. That ending was a tearjerker. It really was. And I do not regret playing that game. Beautiful time. Oh, this is so hard. So hard to work out here. Damn. I think Batman Arkham City. When I beat that game, my room was in the basement of our house at the time, and it was like 2 a.m, and it was pitch black, and I was just watching the credits, and then all of a sudden Mark Hamill as the Joker starts singing a song. I didn't know that's what was going to happen, and it scared the shit out of me. But that game was so cool. I tried going through the Catwoman DLC, and I think I got stuck on a part trying to get to Poison Ivy. I can't remember, but I I never got past it. I should one day I should go back because that was one of the first like DLC games that I bought with my own money. Because I finally got a job at that time. Yeah, what a cool game. Batman Arkham City. Man. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Cool, smooth ass game. It's fucking smooth. The transitions of you going into different dimensions are like seamless. Seamless. You don't even know. You're in a whole new dimension you don't even know. And the gunplay in that game with the the name is completely lost on me. But the way that the DualSense controller works and having all those reactions in it felt so good. So good. That game is dope. That game is fucking dope. Now this is where I struggle right here. Because right now I'm looking at the Gears of Wars that remain. 2, 3, and Ultimate Edition. It's tough, man. It's really tough. Because with 3, I mean 3's an epic. It is an epic. 2 was like dark and cool and gritty. And the Riftworm. But what's cool about Ultimate Edition is you're kind of... What I love about Ultimate Edition is, you know, because if you're familiar with the original Gears of War 1, which Ultimate Edition is essentially a remaster of, but in original Gears 1, Act 5, the final act of the game, was extremely quick. I mean, it was like maybe 2 missions. And one of them is the final one of the game. And it was kind of weird because every other one was like 4 or 5 really long missions. And I found out it's because of the technical limitations of the 360. But when it got remastered on Xbox One, they were able to put in those cut segments from Act 5. So you're kind of playing brand new Gears of War 1 content. Which is what happened with me, because I replayed through Ultimate Edition, and there's like a whole running away from a Brumach part at the beginning of the 5th act that they couldn't put in the 360 version. So it's like you're playing a whole new old game. Awesome. Very, very cool. And for that, I think... Well, you know what? Before that... Man, dude, this is so tough. This is so tough, because, I mean, these games aren't far apart in how much I really enjoy them. They're so close. But sacrifices have to be made. I think right here is where we can put... This is going to sound crazy. The Last of Us is at number 44. It's gotta be The Last of Us. It's a phenomenal game. That's where it goes. I got nothing bad to say about The Last of Us. I really don't. I mean, the first one. I mean, you know, what can you not say about the first one? Great game, absolute banger of a game. And then 43. 43, I'm gonna put Gears 3. Gears of War 3, 42, Gears of War 2, and then 41. Gears of War 1 is at 41. That's what we're looking at right there. This is really tough. This is really tough. And it looks like there's not that much left, but I mean, we got 40 more games to go. Because we are now across the threshold of brilliance. And we're at the stairway of greatness. We are at the stairway of greatness. And the first step on the stairway of greatness, it's got to be Portal 2. Oops. That's not how you spell Portal. Portal 2. I played the shit out of Portal 2. I mean, I played Portal 1, of course, but maybe twice. Not saying that I didn't like it, but Portal 2, my God, I must have beaten that game maybe 30 times. I love Portal 2. I even have the guide / art book for it. I got it with the game. It's just so good. So good. Wheatley and the whole underground part. Cave Johnson when GLaDOS is in the potato. I mean, other people have said it. Even Super Eye Patch Wolf said it. But that's one of the best parts of the whole game, I think. Fuck yeah. Portal 2. Second step on the stairway to greatness. I think we're looking at Abzu. Abzu is a beautiful game, beautiful soundtrack. It's amazing. It's underwater journey. You know, a concept that is already great in itself, and you put it in a whole new medium, and the beauty of it is just flowing. I mean, the beauty just flows out of that game. You can barely do anything in that game. You can just sit and watch, and it's great. You actually can do that. There's parts in the game where there's like a statue of different sea life. I think most of them are statues of sharks. And you just sit on the head of the shark and just watch. Just watch a coral reef, watch the open ocean, watch a pod of whales go by, or a swarm of hammerheads. It's so great. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful game. Man, I don't get how there looks like there's so much more left, but we really don't have a whole lot left. I think this is where Mortal Kombat 1. That's where Mortal Kombat 1 goes. I played Mortal Kombat 1 just last year. I thought the story was very good. It was a little weird, but I mean, just everything with Liu Kang, man. Everything with Liu Kang, it's so. That's my guy. Liu Kang's my guy. And Baraka. Liu Kang and Baraka. And Raiden. Oh, Raiden. So dope. 37. This is also going to sound crazy. It really will. But 37's got to go to The Last of Us Part 2. Last of Us Part 2 is one of those games that a friend of mine said you will play. You will play, you have to play. Anybody who plays games, they got to play that game. Whether you like it or not. Because I know for whatever fucking reason, a lot of people don't like it, which, whatever. But that game's rough. That game's rough in the most real ass way. And it's an experience that should be experienced by anybody who can. And the fact that they're going to try to adapt that into a show, like season 2 of the show, I hope it goes well. Because damn. That's all I'll say. Because damn. That game's a monument of games. 4 games. Number 36. 36 on the stairway to greatness. Narrow it down a little bit here. This is probably going to be another shock as well. But number 36, I'm going to put Fallout New Vegas. I really, really enjoy Fallout New Vegas. There's nothing really that I hate about it other than the fact that I'm too lazy to install the appropriate mods to make it like work on PC optimally. But sacrifices have to be made, and I do love that game, but I didn't play it as much as other games on this list, which of course we'll get into. Thirty-five. 35, I think we're going to go with Spider-Man. With Spider-Man. Spider-Man for PS4. Banger. Gonna be saying that a lot, but Spider-Man for PS4 is awesome. And I think number 35, that's where it's at. Damn. 34. I think it's safe to say to put Transformers War for Cybertron. War for Cybertron is really cool. I played what was great about it is that the demo had multiplayer. So it was only on one map and you can only choose 2 classes and they were the same loadouts. But I mean, those multiplayer matches, me and one of my friends would just download the demo and just play that shit all day. And then, years later, finally get Fall of Cybertron. I played the multiplayer for that more than Call of Duty. And when I got War for Cybertron, very few people were still playing it, but I still played the shit out of it. Very, very cool. And it was interesting how, I kind of get it, but it was interesting how you could go all the way through as the Decepticons and play like one half of the story, play the other half as the Autobots, and see it kind of, the events of the game happen from two different perspectives. It's pretty cool. So that's War for Cybertron at 34. Damn. This one's gonna sound crazy too, man. This one's gonna sound really crazy, considering. But story mode, as far as story mode goes, Halo 3 ODST at 33. Story mode was great in that. Playing as Buck. That first level with the night vision, the way that the night vision looked, I can't get it out of my head. It just looked so stylized and so cool. Just like basic outlines of things, and you had the silenced SMG. Awesome. Always awesome. Halo 3 ODST 32. We're almost at the top of the stairway of greatness. Almost at the top. Almost at the top. Damn. This is really hard, guys. This is really, really hard. For number 32... I think we gotta pick Spider-Man Miles Morales. Beat this one last year. Short but super good story of being accepted as Spider-Man. And one of the last missions of that game is absolutely heartbreaking. Won't spoil it, but goddamn, what a great story. What a great character. Miles Morales, watching his character start in the first game and then just become Spider-Man. I can't wait to see him more in Spider-Man 2 when I get to playing that one. I have it. I just haven't started it, but he's cool. He's cool. Cool ass Spider-Man. Cool ass Spider-Man. Give me 1 second. Alright. And the final step, at the very top of the stairway of greatness, the very top. What are we going to do, man? What are we going to do? It's at the very, very top. honestly, I've been debating with myself a lot over this, just in general. This video, this live stream list aside, really been struggling trying to figure this out. But I'm gonna go with my gut and Resident Evil 2 remake. I'm going right here. Resident Evil 2 remake is so dope. And actually being hunted by Mr. X still kind of keeps me up at night sometimes. It's such a great game. It looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's a whole new engine. It's so unbelievably cool. I love that game. I really, really do. And now we have ascended to the ascension of the Super Beasts. And I can think of no better game to start us off in this category than the one and only Stray. Stray made me tear up multiple times. It's such a simple and charmingly beautiful story of the most least likely, in the most least likely way. I can't say enough about Stray. It's so great. Love Stray. Love that game. I was so glad that they came out with a physical release for it eventually, after its initial release. Comes with like postcards and stuff. Very, very cool. Very, very great game. And then right after that banger, got Red Dead Redemption at number 29. I have a little story with Red Dead. The moment I started the game, I don't know if the horses that you get in the beginning, or the horse, is, procedurally generated. I'm sure it might be. But I made it my life's mission to never change my horse. I'm going to spoil the game a little bit. So be forewarned. This is for the first one. I have not played the second. I did not change my horse the entire game. I had the same horse. I never got a better one. That was my horse, and he was sticking with me. And then I believe when it got to the point where it was like towards the very end, or right, I can't exactly remember. It's been a long time, but I believe right when you go to Mexico, the game just switched my horse. I did not buy a new one. I didn't do anything. It just switched my horse. Gave me a new one. And I was so upset because I missed my old one. He was all black and had one white leg. The back right leg, I think, was white. And it gave me like some brown and white one. I'm like, this is not my horse. Not my horse. So there was no way that I could get it back. And I just had to suck it up. I even tried reloading a save. Didn't work. I just had to suck it up, and it gave me a new horse. You play through the game. Something happens to John Marston, the main character, and then you end up playing as his son years later. And you start out in a saloon as his son. Dialogue happens, story happens. And when you leave, you have to get on your horse. And when I looked out, this is the end of the game. When I got out of that saloon, I looked at my horse. And it was the same horse from the beginning of the game. It's like the game knew and it gave it back to me. And it's one of my most favorite gaming memories of all time. It was actually magic. In that moment, I'm like, magic is real. They gave me my horse back. This is insane. It was so good. I'll never forget that. And I'll never forget making this choice. to put Transformers Fall of Cybertron right here. Like I said, I played this game more than Call of Duty back in the day. I got all the DLCs for it, and I was just as pissed off as everyone else when High Moon Studios just completely abandoned this game. Completely abandoned it. I mean, there was only like 4 game modes, literally 4. And the community just slowly fizzled out. They stopped updating the game, and it just fizzled out. And that really sucked. But the memories that I have with that game, I'll never forget, because it was so unbelievably fun. I think they actually had it on PS4. They delisted it, but there was a way to get it on PS4 and Xbox One. And I think that kept it alive for a little bit longer, but even now, if I wanted to, you could play their like horde mode now, still. But if I wanted to go into like a private multiplayer match and just check out the different loadouts, you can't do it. I used to do that all the time because nobody was playing it anymore. What a great time. Number 27. 27. Oh, man, this is so hard. But if I really had to pick, oh, hold on. Genuinely, there is a game. It will go very high on this list. I did forget to add it. And that is Returnal. I don't know why I keep forgetting to add it to these lists. But we'll get to Returnal. I apologize for that, but we'll get to it. What to put for number 27? This list is just so stacked with games that I absolutely love that I really just don't know. Oh man, this is really tough. That kind of screwed up the list. Adding Returnal. Fuck. Oh well. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. Shit, I don't know. I don't know if I can. I'm gonna have to move one of these. I can't. I can't do it. Number 27 is going to Resident Evil 3 Remake. I really love 3. I was waiting for 3 for so long. Even though I know it only came out like a year or two after Remake 2, but I was so excited for that because I just love the design of Nemesis, and I couldn't wait to play as Jill again. Yeah, I mean that game was very linear. It was very action movie and very less survival horror, but I still had such a great time with it. I know a lot of people were really disappointed in it. As somebody who never played original 3, that was kind of lost on me. But, man, that shit was fun. I loved it. Loved that shit. And now, you know what? This is going to be one of the hardest ones, too. Because I'm looking at all these games. I mean, most of these are like top 20 anyway. But I'm gonna have to. This is gonna sound crazy. And I don't mean anything against this game at all. But number 26 is going to Super Mario Odyssey. I had such an amazing time playing this game. I had a smile on my face the entirety of the time. Such a great time. I think you really got to try to make a game that happy-go-lucky again, because every part of that game was awesome. There may not even be a world that I didn't love. Maybe one that I just liked and just didn't love, but everything, none of them I was like, oh my god, I don't want to do this. But every single one of them, I'm like, this is great. This is either great or this is awesome. And now we get to 25. 25, man. Number 25. Number 25 is going to go to Resident Evil HD Remake. The HD version of the one that was on the GameCube, which is in itself a remake of the PlayStation 1 Resident Evil. Love it. Absolutely love it. Played as both Chris and Jill. I do prefer playing as Jill just because I think that's the canon way, is playing as Jill, in my opinion. And she is the master of unlocking, so it made it a lot easier. The Ascension of the Super Beast. This is super tough. This is really, really tough. We gotta put at number 24. For anybody who's watching that knows me, this is going to sound really nuts. No, I can't do that. I can't. I'm going to have to. Yakuza Kiwami 2. One of my favorite games I've ever played. I love the story in that game. Do I think it hits me as hard as Kiwami 1? I don't. But I'm not saying that in a bad way at all. It's a different game. It's a different story. You know, it's not the exact same thing again. And it has its own unique thing going on. It's its own thing, and of course it builds off of the first one, but I mean that first one, Kiwami 1, is just great. But Kiwami 2 by no means is. I don't think any of these games are bad at all, especially now that we're in like the top 23 now. But if I had to put Kiwami 2 anywhere, I think I'm okay with putting it here. And then right after that, Another crazy one. Doom 2016. Again, love Doom 2016. It was one of the first times that I ever felt like I had an audience. I'm sure some of the people who are subscribed to this channel remember watching my first playthrough through that game way back then. I think most of those videos are still up, or those VODs. It was one of my greatest gaming memories I've ever had. Playing in front of like double-digit people and being cheered on to play Doom 2016. It was a great time, absolutely great time, and I'll never forget that. Man. This is so crazy because a lot of these I already know are going to be in the top 10. Like, they are in my top 10. I don't even know if I can narrow it down, man. There is one of these games I do know I'm going to have to completely omit from the list just because I can't not have Returnal. I can't not have it. So one of these games, I already know which one it is, and when we get to that, that'll be the hardest thing. But this is so tough. I think number 22 is gonna have to be Pokemon Heart Gold. I absolutely love that game. I think it's one of the best Pokemon games that there is, still to this day. I mean, it was just absolutely packed full of content. You could kind of play that game forever. Not even kind of, like, you can. You just can't. You could just keep battling people, keep getting money, keep buying shit, and just, it was great. That game was awesome. And then right there at the end of the ascension of the Super Beasts. This one's gonna sound crazy too. I know it is. But we got Halo Reach. Oops. Played the shit out of Halo Reach. Love the story of Halo Reach. I think one of my favorite parts is when you're in space with the Space Banshees. So great. And that push off from the force field, you know what I'm talking about. And then the end. Don't even get me started on the end. Absolutely phenomenal. And we are now on the battle of Heavenly Ground. I don't understand how there's still games that we have to get through. This is insane. This is insane. We are in the top 20 now. We are absolutely in the top 20. I don't know how I'm going to do this, man. I don't know how I can possibly do this. When some of these games are literally in my top 10, how can I omit them? Oh, man, this is so crazy. Absolutely insane. Number 20, Saints Row 2. I I must have played Saints Row 2 at least 5 or 6 times, and each time I made the exact same character. With spiky purple hair and a purple goatee, and I always decked him out in the Ronin gear. Man, what an awesome game. That's the real shit. Saints Row 2 is that real shit, man. I have the collector's edition for Saints Row 2, and the only thing that it's missing is the USB drive that looks like a 50 cal bullet. But other than that, it's got everything. It's got a big metal case. It's one of my favorite pieces in my collection. Number 19. Number 19, we're gonna go with Titanfall 2. Possibly the best FPS I have ever played, and possibly the number one reason why I will never forgive Respawn for just milking that bullshit that is Apex Legends. They literally made one of the best shooters of all time, and all they do now is fucking Battle Royale. And that sucks. That absolutely sucks. I hate Battle Royales. Just at least make a Titanfall 3. And for anybody who knows, I'm not about milking series. Like, there's got to be a point where you stop. And I think it's good to know when quit while you're ahead, basically. But, I mean, Titanfall 1 didn't even have a campaign. And people liked it. Titanfall 2, again, one of the best FPSs ever that I've ever played. At least make a 3. At least just make a 3. Even if there... I don't want there to be like a 6. You know, a third. A absolutely rock solid one. Just, that'd be so great. But Apex Legends, fuck that game. I'm not gonna say that to number 18, which is gonna be man, this is gonna be one of the ones that hurts the most, I think. This one's really gonna suck. But number 18 is one of the best games I played. It's gotta be Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy made my jaw drop multiple times. Drax is the heart and soul of that game. The music in that game is phenomenal. Even the non-copyrighted, like the original the original songs that they did for that game, so good. Everything about that game is good. It's like they perfected what they should have done for that Avengers game with this. Because what's crazy about the Guardians of the Galaxy game, the moment I saw that game get announced, immediately, right off the bat, I'm like, no, fuck that game. I'm not even going to pay attention to that game. Because I saw that it was a superhero game made by Square Enix where there's like 4 characters. Automatic no for me. Because Avengers had just mega flopped. Don't even want it. And then it turns out one of the best games I've ever played. It's in my top 20. It is number 18 on my top 20. I mean, it absolutely great. Absolutely phenomenal. Here we go. Here we go. Number 17. Number 17. Might have to go Number 17 might have to go to Pokemon Platinum. Gen 4 is my favorite generation of Pokemon. And Platinum is the penultimate Gen 4 game. It's amazing. Platinum is amazing. And I think it's just in my heart slightly better than Heart Gold, which in itself is of course phenomenal, like we've already talked about. But Platinum is just, it's so near and dear to my heart. Diamond is as well, but Platinum is, again, it's better Diamond. It really is. Number 16. Number 16, we got Shadow of the Colossus. I played most of the PS3 port of it, and then when the PS4 port or remake came out, I played it finally to completion, and jaw-dropping, absolutely jaw-dropping, and that video from Jacob Geller made me love it even more. Yeah, just look up Jacob Geller, Shadow of the Colossus, and I think it's the final secret of Shadow of the Colossus, something along those lines. And amazing video. Jacob Geller is the GOAT, and Shadow of the Colossus is one of many GOATs as well. Super, super amazing game that I like. I do like a considerable amount more than The Last Guardian. I don't think it's nearly as frustrating, except for that one Colossus, the second small one, we were in like the outside ruins. That one was pretty annoying. Every other one was great, especially that bird one, that first bird one. So dope. And then that lizard one at the bottom of the well. It's great. Oh man, that horse one in the middle of the fort. They're all so good. They're all good. Even that annoying one is good. Phenomenal game. 15. Number 15. I want to pick a game for number 15. Fuck, man, this is so tough. This game that we're going to do for number 15 is extremely, extremely near and dear to my heart. I would rent it almost every week from Blockbuster, and I rented it so much that they actually put it on sale, and I bought it. So the copy that I own of this game is the copy that I would rent almost every week. It still has the sticker on it, and it's still in the Blockbuster case, and that is my copy of Nicktoons Battle for Volcano Island. I know it's a really weird outside pick, but I played that game so much that back then I would be willing to say that I was bored, like at the very cusp of amateur speedrunning that game. I could beat it in like one day. I got to the point where I could beat it in a single day, and I started learning like weird little tricks on how to skip certain sections. If I kept going, I genuinely could have speedran that game. Genuinely, I know I could have, because holy shit, I played that game so many times. I love that game. There's that one section though that I really don't like. It's like the swamp section. I think it's like right before or right after you unlock Timmy Turner. That part kind of sucks. I mean, every game has that part that you're like, oh god, this part. And that's That's that one, but still so good. Man, this is really tough right now. Got 4 more games. 4 more absolutely phenomenal, amazing games. How can I even do this? Number 14 is going to Doom Eternal. I played this game alongside one of my really good friends on stream. All the VODs are still there, and it's one of my favorite gaming memories I've ever had. Doom Eternal is absolutely sick in the best skater way possible, and I loved every minute of it. I loved every minute of it, except for that one part where I got pissed off and I didn't want to play it anymore. But then 2 days later, went right back to it. And I think legit my first session of playing that game was like 7 hours straight, and I didn't even know. It just boom went by just like that. Such a dope game. I love, of course, I love 2016 as well, but 2016 was very like dark and like dark game in a good way, but Doom Eternal was just in your face, in their face. Go for it. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Damn, dude. Number 13. It's gonna have to be The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. When I saw the first trailer for Skyrim, I was then convinced that video games would never be the same, and that would be the game to end all games. And I was kind of right, because if given the chance, I bet you they would still release some new version of Skyrim today. I love it. I could go back and I go through phases where I will go back and play Skyrim for like 3 weeks and not play anything else, and I'll just make that stealth archer character that everybody does, and it's always a great time. Always a great time. All right. The battle on Heavenly Ground is almost over, and it's here that we have number 12. Game number 12. One of my favorite games ever. And my all-time favorite Call of Duty. Call of Duty Black Ops. It was so weird and different, and initially I was like, back in the day I was like, I don't want that game because it looks so weird. I'm glad that it does. I'm glad that it has its own unique style. Endless times playing the zombies. Not Nocturne. Kino der Toten. Ascension. I don't know about Shangri-La. I don't know about that one. But, God, it was just so good, man. So good. I'll never forget my times in Black Ops 1. Absolutely phenomenal. And now here's where we get to two of the toughest decisions of this whole thing. So, of course, I had to add Returnal, which added one more to the what would have been perfect list of games. I am going to have to omit one of these top 11 games. And I have already decided on what it is, because I can't not add Returnal, because it's one of my favorite games I've ever played in my life. But because it means so much to because it means so much to me in my heart, I know it's okay. But Zoo Tycoon 1, I will have to put in honorable mentions. I played so much Zoo Tycoon 1 back in the day, it wasn't even funny. But I played more of 2. And 2 holds more of a place in my heart than 1 does by like fractions of a decimal point. So that is the reason why. And with that, wait, do we? Oh yeah, there's 11. Okay. So with that, game number 11, the end of the Battle on Heavenly Ground, is going to be the second toughest decision, because normally in most lists that I make in my top 10, I had these games combined because I could not decide which one I actually like better. I finally made the decision of which one I like better, and again, by fractions of a decimal. But this is the choice. A game that means so near and dear to me that I actually have the creator's autograph. Number 11 is Nier Automata. This game transcends gaming, to quote my friend. It transcends what it means to be a person. It is so unbelievably amazing. And to now break into the domain of God as number 10, the game that I like more than Nier Automata by just enough. I have an autographed copy of this game by Yoko Taro, the producer of the music, 2 singers, and the conductor of the Nier Orchestra, 10+1, End of Data, is Nier Replicant. The reason why I like this so much is because as a older brother to a younger sibling, I connected with this game on like a deeper level than I believe the average person would. And it means so much to me. I love Nier Replicant so much. A game that also means a massively great deal to me. And these right here, aside from number 1, honestly, are, aside from like from 10 to 2, they're really in no particular order, honestly. And then, number 1, of course, being the penultimate. But this is pretty much all fair game now. It's not hard to decide which one is which now. So for number 9, we're going with one of my all-time favorite games. Yakuza Kiwami 1 is one of my favorite games I've ever played. Just for the fact that it's just so good. I love it so much. That's all I can say about it, really. I mean, that and the absolute emotional gut punch that I got at the end of playing this beautiful game, and then you just hear Amazing Grace at the very end, blew me away. Started my journey with Yakuza that is still ongoing, and I will never forget that game. Then after that, of course, we have Fallout 3. The first time I ever saw Fallout 3, I was at a friend's house, and I wasn't really well liked when I was a kid, I guess. I was kind of a shithead back then, and I went to my friend's house. He always had the newest games, and he had Fallout 3. First time I ever saw it. I said, whoa, dude, what is this game? He's like, oh, this is Fallout 3, blah, blah, blah. I said, hey, can I play? And he goes, well, I don't think you'd like this game, Dylan. I said, oh, why? And he goes, because you have to think. So I was like, all right, fucking asshole. So when I finally beat Fallout 3 on my own, it was like a life goal. I'm like, fuck yeah, I beat it. Fuck you. So, and plus, I also played the shit out of that game. I would just walk around the wasteland and find new places and somehow end up at the Deathclaw Sanctuary and die immediately. I instinctively, I found myself there so many times that I instinctually knew not to go in that area of the map because that's where the Deathclaws were. I love Fallout 3. And I think it's safe to say that I do like it quite a bit more than New Vegas. Not saying New Vegas is bad. I like Fallout 3 better. Another game that I played the shit out of, Spore. This is one of the games. This is the game that's the exception of a game that I have not beat, because you can beat Spore. Absolutely, I have not. I don't know if I ever will, just because I enjoy just fucking around in Spore more than trying to actually get to the end. Maybe one day I will, just to say that I did, but I never thought I would ever find the Galactic edition of Spore. And then one day I found it at a game store for $20, and it's one of my most prized possessions. I love Spore. I love everything about it. I wish they would do something with it. I know that there's this, I don't know if anybody has seen, but there's a new phone game coming out. It's an exact copy of the Cell stage of Spore. I don't know how they haven't been sued yet. I doubt EA allowed them to do that. I highly doubt it, but it looks pretty sus to me. But I love Spore. And even more than Spore, I know I said no particular order, but genuinely, Zoo Tycoon 2 took over my life when I was a kid. I had all the expansions, and I still do. Still have all the expansions. I repurchased it, the Ultimate Edition, Ultimate Collection of the original Zoo Tycoon 2, not the Microsoft one. And I still play it every other day. I go on there, do something. When I want to relax, having a bad day, boot up some Zoo Tycoon 2, and it's like I'm a little kid again. I love it so much. I genuinely hate playing games with other people. I really do. I don't find it fun. There's very, very, very few circumstances where I will tolerate it. So when I found out that a game that one of the reasons why I even bought a PS3 was for Journey. And when I found out that it technically was multiplayer / co-op, I was so upset. But I decided to play it anyway. And it might be one of the only times that I genuinely loved playing with somebody else. Because there's no way for you to communicate. There's no way for them to like troll you or grief you or be an asshole. There's no way for them to do that. You don't even know that they show up. They just show up. And then they just leave. You don't even know that they left. If they do. And I was at one of the end stages of Journey with somebody else. And we were trudging through the snow and the wind. And I felt so bad because like he left. And I was like, oh no, my buddy. That was my guy. And it was a very beautiful experience. And I love Journey. I think the music of Journey is amazing. And I felt like a completely different person after I beat it. And it was great. Absolutely amazing game. And the story with this one... Oops. I had played Guitar Hero before with my brother. And then he brought over one day... I don't think it was my 360, because, well, it wasn't my 360 to begin with, but it was a 360 that was at our house, long story short. and he brought over his copy of Guitar Hero 3 with the guitar. And he said, I have to show you something really cool, but we have to play the entire game before I can show you. And little kid me is like, sure, I'll I had to watch him play it, of course. So he goes through every single song in the game, and we sit there all day. I'm just watching and I'm listening. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. He's so good at this game. And then he goes, this is it. This is what I wanted to show you. The best song ever. Through the Fire and the Flames. And when you beat the devil in that game, the credits you play Through the Fire and the Flames. And it was the first time I had ever heard that song. And genuinely, every single time I hear that song, it's one of my favorite songs because of that moment. But every single time I hear it, even if I were to put it on right now, it brings me back to that moment, sitting in front of the TV, next to my brother, listening, hearing it for the very first time, every single time. And Guitar Hero 3 gave that to me, and I'll never forget it, and I absolutely love that game. Fuck yeah, Guitar Hero 3. And this game is the main reason why I even wanted a PS5. Nothing against PlayStation. I just felt like at the time when the PS5 first got announced, I didn't have a reason to buy it or want it. And then I saw Returnal. And I'm like, there's no way that game looks that good. There's no way. Good friend of mine bought it, played it, and he said, dude, this was the most Air Nomad ass game I've ever played. You need to play it. This is a game for you. And it made me want to get a PS5. That and Final Fantasy 16 are the reasons why I even wanted to get one in the first place. Finally got one, eventually got Returnal, and I spent weeks playing it because I was stuck on, I think, the third boss for like 2 weeks straight. Legitimately 2 weeks. One of the most difficult games I've ever played, but so rewarding and so good. It is, to this day, the best looking game I've ever seen and I've ever played. I love Returnal so much. A really, really outside pick for one of my top 10 favorite games ever is Scorn. I don't know what it is about Scorn, but I just love it so much. My friends don't understand why. Sometimes I don't understand why. I want everybody to play Scorn. I want more people to love Scorn the way that I do. It is just so good. I love Scorn. I really, really do. Everything about it. It's so slimy and gross. It's so good. And of course, as you can tell, what my number one favorite game is, it's right there. It's right there. Before we do that, we're gonna go over all of them. Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Uncharted, Laser Life, Call of Duty Ghosts, Knack, Rise Son of Rome, The Medium, We Love Katamari, Call of Duty Vanguard, Prototype 2, Spec Ops The Line, Star Wars The Force Unleashed, Rime, Mortal Kombat XL, Mini Ninjas, Life is Strange, Modern Warfare 2019, Little Nightmares, Unpacking, Florence, Frog Fractions, Monument Valley 2, Monument Valley 1, Inside, Flower, Fallout 4, World at War. Oops, sorry, I got a notification. Okay, World at War, Assassin's Creed 3, Infamous 2, Alien vs. Predator, Bulletstorm, Astro's Playroom, Firewatch, Lego Indiana Jones, Halo 4, Mortal Kombat 11, Mortal Kombat 9 Complete Edition, Uncharted 2, Order 1886, Call of Duty 3, Gears 5, Infinite Warfare, Lego Star Wars Complete Saga, Modern Warfare 2, Saints Row 3, Halo Anniversary, Katamari Damacy Reroll, Portal 2, Alan Wake, Modern Warfare 3, Last Guardian, Arkham City, Rift Apart, Last of Us, Gears 3, Gears 2, Gears Ultimate, Portal 2, Abzu, Mortal Kombat 1, Last of Us Part 2, Fallout New Vegas, Spider-Man, Transformers War for Cybertron, Halo 3 ODST, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Stray, Red Dead, Transformers Fall of Cybertron, Resident Evil 3, Mario Odyssey, Resident Evil, Yakuza 2, Doom 2016, Heart Gold, Halo Reach, Saints Row 2, Titanfall 2, Guardians of the Galaxy, Pokemon Platinum, Shadow of the Colossus, Battle for Volcano Island, Doom Eternal, Skyrim, Black Ops 1, Nier Automata, Nier Replicant, Yakuza 1, Kiwami 1, Fallout 3 Spores, Zoo Tycoon, Journey, Guitar Hero 3, Returnal, Scorn, and my number one personal favorite game of all time, Halo 3. As I said before, I do not like playing games with other people at all. I don't. It's not fun for me. The reason is because it will never be like when I used to play Halo 3 with all the kids in my neighborhood when I was a kid. That is the reason why. When I was a kid, there was one guy, I mean a couple kids had Halo 3, but there was one guy who always had Xbox Live. He had 4 controllers and a kind of barely big enough TV. And I mean like 15 of us would all be at his house in his living room switching from controller to controller whenever somebody would die, like match after match, crowded around this screen of a TV and playing 4-player split screen online multiplayer for Halo 3. And it was some of the best moments of my life to this day. Some of my most fondest memories. And not to be a downer, but I'll never get that back. It will never be like that again. And nothing will ever be as cool as those days with Halo 3. That's why Halo 3, my number one all-time favorite game. Of course, this list in its entirety is subject to change, because these are all games, even the ones in the void, even the ones in the honorable mentions, are games that I have beaten. To my knowledge, these are all the games that I've ever beaten in my entire life. I know it's not a lot, and I know it's not super impressive. It's just hard for me to find the time. But as life goes on, and as I beat more games, this list will grow and this list will change. And maybe like every 6 months, we'll update the list. We'll do that. I'll do another stream just like this, maybe every 6 months. So it's March now, we'll do it in September. We'll do it in September. Any games that I've beaten then, we'll flip-flop some stuff. And that's it. That's Air Nomad's current top 100 games. Give or take a few in the void and shit like that. Well, it's been, 3 hours? Over 3 hours. Thank you to anybody who came to join in and listen to me ramble about games. Shout out to Super Eye Patch Wolf. I watched both of his VODs of the stream where he did this. Check out his list. Check out that Jacob Geller video for Shadow of the Colossus. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for games. Thanks for watching me talk about games. I think that's it.